Here's the Ohlins SD008. This is the 68 millimeter. And then here's this is the kit I bought off of eBay. What the heck? You can see 43 bucks plus tax and a little bit of shipping, so it's probably like 50 bucks. I was originally gonna get the Jet Prime kit, but it did not come with this piece, but it did actually come with the steering stops. And then I had that on order and it was taking forever and it was still not going to come, and I'd already had the Ohlins damper sitting around, and then I saw this kit and then I realized I kind of liked it a little bit better, just having this part the way it ends up mounting a little straighter on the bike. So I'm not sure though. On this side, here's that little mounting part. I think with the other kit, this part, this thing in here is essentially the same, but they give you this part, and then normally I think you would mount this end of the damper right to here, and then maybe you don't even have a spacer, you have a little spacer there. I'm not exactly sure how that version mounts. And then so I think with that one, the angle of this would be a little bit more angled out. It wouldn't be as straight as this one is. So I kind of like this. I think it came out pretty good. On this side, you can see at full, this is the side where I had to actually, you can see I kind of cut that down quite a bit. It's just a plastic thing. It's actually held on right there, plus it's held on the other side, plus the brake cable feeding through there is holding it up. It's not going anywhere. So let's see how that looks. You can see, so it does not touch. It's perfectly clearing, but originally it was touching. But even when it touched, it actually just it nicely rolled up on it. So if you left it touching, I don't know. I think over time it could be bad though. And then even that side, it almost touches, but it doesn't. So pretty good clearance. And then essentially most of your weight is kind of sitting on the back end of that thing. So you want to make sure you've got that rubber washer on there. That's essentially what's it's a little bump stop. And fortunately I tried to put some on the rubber on the bottom, and then I tried to put rubber on this side as well, but the rubber O-ring just pops right off. So I mean, obviously it stays on that side because it has nowhere to go. It's stuck there. So I think that's the only one you really need. And then there's this thing you got to pull out your brake cable and whatnot. It's pretty easy. It pops in and out of that little plastic piece, and then you add in that spacer, and you got to add in, there's a spacer back there, and then obviously the spacer on the other side there. And then I ended up actually getting some of these bolts that were slightly shorter, just because the ones they gave me were way more than long enough, and because of this angle with this top part here, I literally couldn't even get it started. So I ended up picking up some shorter bolts to make that easier. And then another thing to make sure you do is these two bolts right here. The first time I set it up, I put the adjusters on the top, and you literally can't, none of my Allen anything could get between there and there, so I had to kind of take it apart again and flip that part. So that's critical to get those adjusters on the bottom there. And then this is the 68 millimeter, and then you can see right there. Let's see if I can zoom in on that. There we go. Got, say, about a finger of space till the end. At least almost, I'd say almost 10 millimeters, about a centimeter. And then here we've got pretty much the same. So I'm confident I have this thing mounted almost exactly in the middle. And this is the 68, so it almost seems like I see there's a 63. In theory, I feel like you could potentially use that 63 and it would still work. You just have less margin for error. And then maybe if you use the one that mounts to the fork and it's more cocked, maybe you have to have the 68 for that one. I have no idea. But yeah, so I ended up canceling the Jet Prime kit, and then that's when I ordered the Spider steering stops, which I don't know if the Jet Prime are the plastic 3D printed like these, or if those were, I was for some reason thinking they were billet, but maybe they're also plastic as well. So that's the Ohlins, and then also I think it has 20 levels of adjustment. It's like if you're all the way in, you can go 20 out. I think I forget what they recommend, about halfway or a little more. So I was running it about 7 clicks out, and that's pretty tight. I loosened it up. I think right now I'm running like maybe 11 or 12 clicks out or something like that. I was just kind of cruising around the street the last time I rode, so I made it a little looser. But yeah, it's easy to just get your arm down in there and click it. I like the sound, and it feels really nice. It's a nice piece.